Vancouver Gold, Canada's trusted neighborhood gold buyers. This is a national company, Charlie. You're one of the co-owners. You're the CEO. But you really, despite growing on a national basis, you try and take each individual location and treat it as a community office, a community entity all by itself, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It kind of goes back to how we started as a company. We started with a single office. Actually, we started even before that. We just started, meeting people in places. So that was how we were really different from the competition. You didn't have to send it in. Gave one-on-one service. So yeah, we try to keep each store, dealing with its community, seeing people on one-on-one, giving the estimates.
Vancouver Gold has a terrific website. Greg, give us the address, because a lot of people listening have access. They'll just lean over and pull up the website while they're listening to this conversation. What is the website, please?
Yeah, it's vancouvergold.ca.
Okay.
And from there, you can go through to any one of our offices, except Victoria. I believe they have their own separate site. It's victoriagoldandsilver.com.
Right. Now, I should point this out, too, because even though it is a national chain, Charlie, you and two of your brothers are growing this company literally in Ontario and Alberta as we speak, as well as what you're up to here in British Columbia. The 3 of the 4 stores in the Lower Mainland are Vancouver Gold stores. But the one in Surrey is just called Surrey Gold. The one in Victoria is Victoria Gold. All the same company, but this is part of that localizing initiative that you took right from the get-go, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. We want people to know that it is in their community. When we started, this was 2009 or so, the most of the gold had kind of doubled in price, going from $300 to a new all-time or new kind of high of the last 20 years of about $600 an ounce. So there were all these kind of new options kind of sprouting up. There was a Super Bowl ad that year with MC Hammer kind of advertising mail in your gold.
Right.
And that's what kind of got it on everyone's mind. So we kind of looked around we had some stuff. We were interested in selling gold. My brother and we had some stuff from, we just kind of gathered up. There were some gifts and we didn't know what to do with it. We ended up, looking around locally and not finding anything. So we kind of resorted to those mail-in companies. Mm-hmm. And we just had a bad experience, basically.
Right.
We had to kind of fight to get the stuff back after, we did research on what price we should be getting for our items, what they were worth at that $600 an ounce.
Right. And whoever was offering to buy your gold didn't even come close.
They
right?
didn't come close, and they didn't give us the details on what it was we got. So they just, they gave us a number, and I think a lot of the people didn't know really what they should be expecting, so they get a number and assume that's correct.
Well, that's and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think in terms of selling gold, a lot of people are aware of this. Well, you put it in, we'll give you one of these special security envelopes, and you send it off to us, Greg, and then we'll assess it, and we'll send you back a check, and that's that. Bob's your uncle. It's all over. Well, it struck me the very first time I saw that ad, wait a second, you want me to put Grandma's gold gift to my dad into an envelope and ship it through the mails to some place somewhere and trust that it's going to get there, and at the other end, I'm going to get fair treatment from some unknown third party? That's bizarre. And yet that's probably, Greg, the way most people think of when they think of, well, I got this gold. I'd love to sell it. It's probably worth some dough. Do I have to mail it somewhere? The short answer is no.
No, you don't. And I mean, I guess the appeal to mailing it is that that's just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
You call that number, they send you an envelope in the mail, and you're done with it.
There's no effort required.
No, it's very little effort, but the reality is that you're dropping it in the mail and you're hoping that it gets to where it's going. And once it's there, I mean, as soon as you drop it in the mailbox, it's completely out of your control.
Right.
You don't have the option to say, oh, no, that's not quite enough, or maybe I'd like to shop around and get a better price.
And I don't know enough about the business. Once you send it to them, Charlie, mm-hmm. do they keep it? Or can they send it back and say, we don't want to buy it? Or that's the other part of the risk, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're sending it off to some unknown party, and maybe they're going to send you a check back, and that's the end of the transaction. Even if you're not happy with the money, it's gone, and that's it. It's over, right?
Yeah, in most cases, most websites will offer or, claim some sort of, you can get your items back in the mail, you pay shipping perhaps.
Right.
It's a real hassle to do that. That's exactly how we started, was by trying to send stuff in to just get fair market for, we weren't looking to start a business on day one there. We were looking to send stuff in and get paid fairly for what we had.
Right.
Yeah, the problem is there's no...
You said you had a bad experience. So I gather you didn't get paid as fairly as you were hoping to be paid.
No, we sent in we had a decent amount there. We had probably $3,000 or so. My grandfather was in the kind of jewelry industry back 20, 30 years ago, so we had some stuff from that. So we kind of knew what we were dealing with, and we didn't have a local option to do it, so we sent it in and got, I think, an offer of $400 or so
Holy
for
cow.
our $2,500 worth of gold jewelry.
Right.
So we, asked for it back, went through their normal channels, and it was just a big back and forth where they, I think, offered us then $100 more for the items, and then we said, no, please send it back, and they said, how about $50 more? Going up these...
Nickel and diming you on it, eh?
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Nowhere near the real value.
We got it back there, and then we sent it to someone else and had the identical experience there. All these places called some variation of cash for gold or cash for dollars for gold. They're all these different companies, so none of them is building up a reputation, really. They're all kind of sharing one reputation. There's no incentive for them, basically, to do a good job.
So the reason why, Charlie, though, did you send this stuff away? I assume you were in Vancouver at the time, right?
We were, yeah.
Okay, so why was there not a place in Vancouver 3 or 4 years ago that you could go to and do the kind of thing people can now do with Vancouver Gold? Was there no such establishment 5 years ago?
The promises they made online involved their prices, and those prices were better than you'd get from a pawn shop or a jewelry store locally. So those were the options before.
So it was pawn shop or jewelry store, or send it in the mail?
Or send it in the mail. And the sending in the mail, that was the new business, and they put a price on it that was much higher than you'd get going in locally. It turns out that going in locally, even back then, before there were kind of specialized gold buyer, was a better option for you. But we kind of took at face value the offer online. So we did try to send it in. After we got the stuff back, we did go to a couple of jewelry stores, and again, didn't really have the luck we wanted. And then we approached a refinery to deal with our stuff, and they offered to do it. Basically there were some fees to do that, but it ended up being the best option for us. So that's exactly what we did. We actually posted an ad on Craigslist to see if we can get a bigger load together to kind of do a shared thing. We do better the more we send into this refinery, basically. So we gathered some other people up kind of in the same situation as we were in, and we gathered up, I think, about $10,000 worth of gold, which was literally just a handful. It wasn't a lot. It sounds like a big dollar amount, but it really adds up quickly.
600 an ounce in those days. It does add up quickly, doesn't it? Talking with the guys from Vancouver Gold, Canada's trusted neighborhood gold buyers. CEO and co-owner Charlie Pollock is in studio, along with regional manager Greg Nielsen. And Charlie, you talked to us a little bit about before the break, about why you and your brothers founded Vancouver Gold, a company that is now expanding across Canada, basically because, as a lot of consumers do, you saw an ad on TV, send us your gold to Company X somewhere in the States, probably, right? Was it the States or Canada?
The ad was from the States, and then there was a company in Canada who did the same thing. Exactly.
All right. So you sent it off, and you just didn't get any satisfaction. It just didn't work out for you. They didn't offer you anywhere near the dollars you felt that your merchandise was worth, and to retrieve it took forever and a day. The experience was extremely unpleasant and time-consuming.
It was a wrestling match. Yeah, we really had to fight to get that back. And
so now you've decided, well, that was a real waste of time. Let's see what we can do about organizing ourselves, perhaps into some kind of enterprise that makes this whole process worthwhile, not only for us, but for anyone else in British Columbia that has maybe some old gold or jewelry. They would like to find out whether it's worth anything and then maybe sell it. Maybe have some fun with some of those things. How long have you been in business?
We have been in business for a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's with the 4 Lower Mainland stores. Would they open simultaneously, or did you start with the one downtown on Broadway and gradually expand incrementally?
Yeah, we started small. Our intention even when we got those, did that first refining load wasn't necessarily to start a business, but we had so much luck with that first load, getting rid of our own gold was the goal. We had $2,500. We got that together with some other people and we refined that. But we kept getting emails from our original ad coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought a little testing machine called the Miser. It's a little electronic testing machine. We met people in coffee shops and we, hooked up these little circuits to the gold. On a little screen it said, 10 karat gold. So we'd buy based on that, and that was the start. We started on Craigslist, going to coffee shops. Then we just figured there was enough demand and enough people, so we
Right.
opened a small office and a shared office floor.
Right. Really
And
baby steps all the way
it
along,
was
right?
absolutely, yeah. It was just, we never intended to open 12 stores right away. Like it was just kind of that's where the demand
Where are
drove
the
us.
4 Lower Mainland locations, Charlie?
We have one on Lower Lonsdale in North Vancouver.
Okay.
65 Lonsdale Avenue. We've got our oldest store, kind of our original one, is on West Broadway. It's 254 West Broadway. We've got one in Surrey on King George Boulevard, 104,362.
Around Surrey Central, and that's
Around
Surrey
Surrey
Gold.
Central, right, that's
so don't
Surrey
go
Gold.
don't go looking for Vancouver Gold at that location because
Surrey Gold,
you'll go
yeah.
nuts. It's Surrey Gold, and that's the same company, and that's what you
Same
need
company.
to know.
And then the last one is a branch in Richmond on Number 3 Road, right by Richmond Center.
Okay.
They're all easy to get to by public transit.
Free parking.
Free parking at most, some of them street parking, but yeah.
And again, it really is worth repeating. Vancouver Gold is the only gold company, a gold buying and selling company, that is endorsed by the Better Business Bureau after a fairly exhaustive examination process, which is terrific. Again, it's all about peace of mind. On your newspaper ads, you say in huge block letters, sell your gold with peace of mind. And for the consumer, especially in an area of precious metals that we're not too savvy about, peace of mind is important. And again, if you're looking and you're thinking about this, if you're going through these cleaning exercises and you're finding yourself, gosh, I've always wanted to know about this. VancouverGold.ca is the website. Great place to go first. Educate yourself a little bit, and then go see Charlie and Greg and the staff at any one of the stores.
Yeah, and you can drop into any store anytime. We give estimates for free. There's no fees, no obligation. Just kind of come and figure out what you've got.